It's the summer of 2007. The kind of summer people think will last forever, even though it never does. In a small coastal town in California, life moved slowly, slow enough that everyone knew everyone. Slow enough that even tragedies felt like they should have been avoidable. That's what people kept saying afterward. That it shouldn't have happened here. That phrase got repeated so much it started to sound meaningless. Alex Carter was 32 that year. A quiet man. The kind of father who showed up to everything, school events, grocery runs, late-night nightmares when his daughter couldn't sleep. He worked steady hours, nothing remarkable, nothing that would make headlines. Just a man trying to hold his small life together. His wife, Christina, was the opposite in some ways, more expressive, more grounded in routines. She remembered everything, appointments, birthdays, the way their daughter Lily liked her sandwiches cut into triangles instead of squares. And Lily, 6 years old, missing her front tooth that summer. Always barefoot when she thought no one was looking. She called her parents mommy and daddy like those words were anchors, like if she said them enough, nothing bad could ever drift too far away. They were, by most accounts, a normal family. That's what makes it worse later. Because normal is what people expect to protect them. They went to the coast on a Saturday. Alex had promised Lily a fishing trip for weeks, and that morning she made sure he couldn't forget. She stood by the door with her little tackle box, bouncing on her heels. "Daddy, you said early," she kept saying, like it was a rule of the universe. Christina kissed them both goodbye before they left. "Be careful," she said, mostly out of habit. Lily hugged her tightly. "Bye, Mommy. I love you." Then she grabbed Alex's hand. "Come on, Daddy." And they were gone. The beach that day was calm. Too calm, later people would say. The kind of ocean that doesn't look dangerous until it already is. Alex and Lily fished for hours. Not much luck, just small catches they threw back laughing. Lily didn't care. She never cared about catching anything. She cared about being there. At some point, she asked to walk down the shoreline. Just to look for shells. Alex said yes. It was a small decision. The kind no one thinks will matter. She waved once before she wandered off. That was the last time he saw her clearly. At first, no one realized anything was wrong. Lily came back on her own sometime later, carrying a small bucket of shells. Sand in her hair. Completely fine. When people asked where her father was, she just pointed toward the water. He went in there. No panic in her voice. Just information. Adults assumed he'd gone for a swim. That he'd be back. But Alex didn't come back. Minutes became an hour. Then more. The sun started to drop. The ocean didn't change. It just kept moving. Search teams arrived after dark. Flashlights swept across the shoreline. Radios crackled. Volunteers called his name like repetition could pull him back from wherever he had gone. There was no sign of him. No clothing. No disturbance. Nothing. Just empty water. And a little girl sitting with a blanket around her shoulders, watching everything quietly. Christina arrived just before midnight. She didn't understand at first. Not really. People spoke in fragments around her, search, possible drowning, we're doing everything we can. But nothing sounded real. Not until Lily looked up at her and said, very softly, "Daddy went too far." The search continued for 2 days. Then 3. Then it became less urgent, more procedural. The ocean had taken people before. It would take people again. That was the unspoken truth no one liked to say out loud. And eventually, Alex was classified as missing, presumed drowned. Christina stopped sleeping. Lily stopped asking questions. 2 days later, the police came to the Carter home. 2 officers. Calm voices. They found something. A camera. Specifically, Alex's camera. Old. Water damaged. half buried near the tide line like it had been waiting. They had recovered the camera washed up on shore. They didn't say much about how or where. Just that it still worked enough to retrieve data. They placed it on the table between them. "We think you should see this," one of them said. Christina didn't want to. But she did anyway. There was only one photo. The screen flickered slightly when it loaded. At first, it was hard to understand. Darkness. Motion blur. The surface of water. Then her eyes adjusted. And she saw him. Alex. His feet submerged, the water, a greenish-green color cutting through the frame like something unnatural. The ocean around him was too still, too deep. And beneath him something else. Something massive. An eye. Open. Too large to belong to anything the human mind could comfortably accept. It filled the entire image, stretching into darkness that the camera couldn't capture. It wasn't just looking. It was aware. Christina didn't speak. She just stared. Because what broke her was how vulnerable Alex was. That photo was the last thing Alex ever captured. It wasn't just the ocean. It's something sinister that found its way to him. Alex was never found.